Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about Kringle Candle American Pie. Now, this is actually my very first review of their new 3-wick format, which debuted with the launch of this candle. I want to say that was about maybe 3, is it possibly 4 weeks ago now? This candle was not sent to me in PR. I want to make that very clear to you guys. I did purchase this on the same day that the general public was granted access to this. And I was pretty excited, not just about this fragrance, but truthfully, you guys, this new format. So, for those of you guys who already know, I mean, unless you've been living under a rock, you already know this, but I'm going to go ahead and do my due diligence in sharing this information. Kringle Candle for many years now has been known for a 2-wick large tumbler format. They are known for their 100% soy wax candles. They're known for being American made. They're known for their conceptual fragrances. They do a lot of things really, really well. So a couple of years ago, they transitioned to 100% soy wax across the board with all of their products. They had Country Candle. That went the way of the dodo, I want to say almost 2 years ago now. And they had their large 2-wick tumbler style vessels for quite some time. That's kind of like part of their packaging aesthetic. You will notice with Kringle that they tend to want to do something unique and different from what everybody else is doing. And so this prototype has been in development for a couple of years now, and this is still 22 ounces of 100% soy wax, but it is now a 3-wick vessel. In fact, I will go ahead and turn it here. We're going to talk about this wax pool as we get through the review. Don't panic. But yes, you can see 3 wicks going on. This is not your standard 3-wick vessel. Kringle did have a 3-wick vessel. Gosh, they launched that. I want to say it was around 2023, but that was in like a painted designer jar. And those 3 wicks were 14.5 ounces. And they were very similar style to what everybody else is doing. Bath and Body Works, Goose Creek, Yankee. And so I know when they were developing a 3-wick vessel, they wanted something that was uniquely Kringle, and they finally did it. So, very excited to share my thoughts with you guys about my first run, my first go here with a 3-wick candle. And I figured American Pie, why not? We just celebrated the 4th of July a couple of weeks ago, although you guys wouldn't know it by I'm part of this problem by all of the content that I am seeing over on Instagram and here on YouTube. Many of us who review candles, we are looking ahead to fall. But for a lot of people, I know you guys are still burning summer fragrances right now or enjoying summer fragrances. I know a lot of you guys transition over to wax melts and candle crux because you're like, it is just too hot for flames. I'm not one of those people. I love candles year round. So anyways, let's go ahead and talk about American Pie because I know a lot of people were really, really excited about it. This vessel does retail for $31, so it's still the same price point that the 2 wicks were. It is also available in a 4-wick, 32-ounce vessel. And that retails for $45, I believe. And then there are wax melts and their new little single wick. They're kind of like a single wick tin. Those are 3.3 ounces, and I believe that those retail for around $7. So let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance notes here. Top notes of apple and pear, mid notes of rose and vanilla, and base notes of cinnamon, apple, and pastry. All right, so this one I have seen a little bit of chatter from folks because I think a lot of people have been saying that this is exactly what they thought it would be. And then there are some people who have gotten their nose on this and said, ooh, this is not what I thought it would be. I'm going to tell you, I personally really, really enjoy this. For me, I will say that I think maybe some of the disappointment that I am seeing from others, and I understand where they're coming from, is that there are people who are saying that they are picking up on that rose note in the middle. I'm going to tell you guys, I personally am not detecting rose. However, this fragrance to me is definitely more of like there is more of a fresh apple accord in here, and my nose is attributing that to the pear that is in the top note with it. I think that a lot of us, or maybe I can just speak for myself. I'll just speak for myself here. But some of my observations have been, I think that sometimes when we see an apple pie fragrance, we tend to put that synonymously with the fall season, which when you have an apple pie fragrance in the fall, that usually has a lot of spice notes accompanying it. I know that Bath and Body Works, I think they had like a warm apple pie fragrance. I haven't had my nose on that one. I think I picked it up and sniffed it many years ago, but my scent recollection on that is not entirely accurate. So I can't really draw like a comparison. But what I will say is that I think a lot of people said with that one, if I'm recalling correctly, that there's like a really good crust note in that. I think when people see apple pie, we instantly think of the apple pie fragrances that we get with fall collections. But I'm going to tell you guys that this is not that. Kringle, again, they like to go a little bit outside of the box. Now, does this fragrance remind me of an apple pie? Yes and no. Here's what I'm going to say. I don't detect a ton of crust note in this fragrance. The pie fragrance from Kringle that I've detected the most crust note in is in their cherry pie fragrance. I get a lot of crust in that. I don't detect it as much in this candle. Again, to me, this is very, very bright, um, bright apple forward with pear. And it comes across almost like a green apple to me, not necessarily as tart as, say, a Granny Smith, but kind of in that vein. This to me, though, I'm going to say the reason why I love this one so much is that I feel like this is a very appropriate apple fragrance, apple gourmand that does not scream fall. This is a really appropriate scent for me personally. I tend to be a very seasonal burner. This is a very nice summer to fall transitional scent. I think that it's cozy, but not super spicy. There is a cinnamon note in the base note, and I'm going to tell you guys if that's something that has you avoiding this fragrance, you don't really need to worry about that. My nose does not detect a ton of spice and cinnamon in here. Is it in there? Yes, slightly, but this is not your warm, cozy fall apple pie fragrance. If you're hoping it will be that, you are going to be disappointed. This is definitely a fresher take on an apple pie, not like in the way of like cologne or perfumey, but I will say that I think that there are some people who their nose is interpreting it that way. My nose doesn't. I'm not smelling anything perfumey about this, but this is definitely more of like a fresh green apple kind of take. You guys know that I shop and support other soy wax candle brands. This is definitely more in the vein of like Caramel Sundays just had their drop and they had a fragrance called Oat Orchard. And that is comparable to a fragrance that they have had for a long time called Crisp Country Apple. This fragrance, I'm going to tell you guys, I have actually been burning this with the Oat Orchard and they burn fabulously together. But again, both of those fragrances, both this one and Oat Orchard, are definitely more fresh, vibrant, sweet, slightly tart apple fragrances. They are not your spicy gourmand, I don't know, like your spicy fall gourmand apple. So I will say that the expectation might need to be, if you are still interested in purchasing this one, I would say that if you're on the fence, get the wax melt or get the single wick tin. I think that that's probably going to be your best bet if you are somebody who is a little bit nervous about that rose note in the middle. Again, to me, this is not overly floral. On cold, I think it smells a little bit more, I don't want to say floral, but definitely more, I would say less gourmand like on cold. I find that when I light this, again, the note that is the most dominant to my nose, or the notes, I should say, are apple and pear. I think it is the pear note that, truthfully, you guys, I don't always love pear notes. Pear tends to pull a little sour to my nose, but in this fragrance, it doesn't. It just lends a little bit of extra depth to what could otherwise just be viewed as like a traditional basic apple scent. I really, really like the fragrance. Now, let's talk about the performance here. So you guys saw this really, really deep wax pool. I'll lift it up and let you guys see the flames. Flames are burning beautifully. Now, if you guys have been with my channel any length of time, you guys know I actually burn my candles in hurricanes. This candle has been burning for almost 4 hours now in a hurricane, hence that very, very deep wax pool. I am going to extinguish this as soon as I get done with this review. Strength and throw on this one, you guys. For me personally, this has been quite strong. I would say not headache inducing strong, but it's definitely where I want it to be. I would say that this is around an 8 in terms of strength and throw. I will say that I am experiencing a little bit at this midway point, like on this burn today. It's still been noticeable and detectable. I do find myself going nose blind to it, I think. But I will tell you that I went outside to do some yard work because I'm crazy and decided to do that on a July day when we have increased humidity. I don't know. I don't know what got into me, but I will tell you that when I walked back into my house from doing that yard work, I definitely noticed this fragrance. It definitely made itself known. It was not, again, overpowering or headache inducing, but anybody walking into the home would definitely notice it. My entire family really likes this fragrance. I am coming to the realization that I think my entire family loves apple fragrances. But again, you guys, this is a very different apple scent than what Kringle has typically been known for. This is not the same apple note to my nose as, say, last year's apple rum cake. I actually wasn't a huge fan of that. And if you have shopped their more recent drops, if you shopped their fall launch that they did last week, this is not even the same apple note that I detect in their Aspen Ridge. I think that was what it was called, Aspen Ridge, the apple forward, like outdoorsy fragrance. You guys, I've had so many new candles come into my collection the last few days, and I just got back from vacation, so some of these things are all jumbling together. But again, you guys, this is a very beautiful apple pear blend, a little bit of crust note. I'm not going to say it's completely undetectable. There is a little bit of warmth coming from a crust and a cinnamon note in there. But again, the crust note in this fragrance is not as noticeable to my nose as it is in their cherry pie. So overall, you guys, this is a fragrance that I really love, and this will be a repurchase for me. I actually could see myself repurchasing it again in this 3-wick format. So far, you guys, the candles that I've been burning in the 3-wick format, I have been pretty impressed with. No wick issues. The next review that I will probably have ready for you guys is probably the Reserve Silver Eucalyptus. I've been getting a lot of burns in on that one as well, and then some of the other fall launch candles. So those will be coming, you guys, over the next couple of weeks. I'm getting there. I just wanted to make sure that I got to about the halfway point, being that these are new vessels, these are new to the lineup, and I didn't want to do premature reviews for you guys until I got to at least that halfway point. So this one does get 2 thumbs up for me. It will be a repurchase. Again, for me, I feel like this fragrance is good starting now, and you could probably burn this all the way through, Thanksgiving. Even if you're somebody who likes apple fragrances at Christmas, which I personally don't really burn a lot of apple scents around Christmas time. That's where I go more tree and spice and cookie heavy. But I know that there's a lot of people that love apple with at the holiday season, and I honestly see this fragrance being one that can stick around throughout the rest of this year. And to be honest, I'm even going to say honest, I actually think that you could even burn this if you're somebody who likes an apple scent in the spring. You can burn it then. I feel like this is a really good year-round apple scent. Kringle did a really, really good job on it. I love it. But again, I know that there's some people I've seen in the Facebook group who have said, this is not exactly what I wanted in. So it's a good thing that Kringle offers some smaller vessels. So anyways, you guys, I know that this review got a little bit wordy and verbose. I knew that it was going to be that way, just again, because I'm covering a new vessel here. Hopefully I'll be able to keep my upcoming reviews a little bit shorter, but I did want to touch on that this is a new vessel. I do have an affiliate discount code with Kringle. It is Katie15. It will save you 15% off of your purchase over at Kringle. I don't anticipate this candle going on sale anytime really soon. Maybe give it another month. So if you're wanting to get your hands on it right now, again, you can use that code. It is eligible for a commission, so please only use that if you are comfortable doing so. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. Did you purchase this one? What are your thoughts? Are you enjoying it? I'm really, really loving this fragrance. I'm really loving this new format too, you guys. I do have to say, this is definitely more in my wheelhouse. As a reviewer, I'm somebody who likes to get through my candles a little bit faster because, yeah, there's always stuff for me to burn. And I also feel like this 3-wick format, I think it gives a little bit more oomph um, for my home layout. And again, I don't need every candle to smack me in the face, but I'm really, really liking this new 3-wick format. So good job, Kringle. Yeah. So if you guys like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. If you want updated thoughts on candles that I do reviews on. I do typically try to have a weekly video every Friday where I share with you guys 5 candles that are currently in my burn rotation. And that's usually where I will give you guys some current burn updates, as well as I usually do an empties video at least once a month. And that's also a great resource once I finish up a candle. So, all right, you guys, wordy enough. I'm going to get on out of here. So I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.